100,000 companies through a network of nearly 200 chapters. With that, Mr. Alford, we'd appreciate your testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Acting Chairman. Distinguished members of the committee, thank you for giving the National Black Chamber of Commerce the opportunity to speak about the contracting programs of the Small Business Administration. We will submit a full testimony within the subsequent 5-day time span, but for now I want to voice a few important views about the current status of the SBA and how it impacts our membership. The National Black Chamber of Commerce is a nonprofit 501c3 organization that is dedicated to the economic development of African American communities through entrepreneurship and capitalistic activities. We have over 130 chapters located in 41 states and various chapters in 8 nations. We have reached to over 100,000 black-owned firms and consider ourselves the largest business association representing black-owned firms. Back in 1996, a deputy administrator of the SBA told my board of directors that the SBA was no longer going to concentrate on procurement and become simply a lending guarantee institution. We protested her attitude and demanded and eventually received her resignation. As time went by, it appears that her forecast has slowly taken form. It was in the late 1990s that the SDB contracting with the federal government was dropping at the rate of $1 billion per year. In the early 2000s, it started to take a miraculous turn upwards. However, that appears to be due to misrepresentation, fraudulent reporting, and a skyrocketing increase in Alaska Native corporation activity. Minority businesses in the lower 48 states have been decimated in direct government contracting and subcontracting. As a current example, the SDB contract participation in the Gulf rebuilding seems to be approaching, in terms of black business participation, at $400 million. Contracts affected by the National Black Chamber of Commerce in southeastern Louisiana is approaching $1 billion. I never would have thought that our fledgling organization could affect more contracts for black business owners than the federal government, but that is indeed the case. Now, if you take that $400 million that they have alleged with black businesses, most of that has come from the tirade, if I may say, of the Honorable Benny Thompson when we submitted a report to him that FEMA and others were at 0.02% in black business participation in the Gulf. He hit the ceiling and FEMA jumped, and all of a sudden we had $400 million in forecasted dollars. We will audit this later and see if that comes true. We at the National Black Chamber of Commerce are so fed up and disgruntled with the SBA, lack thereof, district directors, PCRs, business opportunity specialists, PTACs, where are they? They're gone. They're more than endangered, they're gone. Los Angeles, Kansas City, Chicago, Brooklyn, Cleveland, they're not around. Some of my districts have not, some of my chapters have not seen an SBA individual in 7 to 8 years, not since the beginning of this century. So what are we doing? We're encouraging our members to go to following the federal dollars through state agencies, USDOT, the billions that they give to the State Department of Transportation offices, following the HUD money. Most of the money in southeast Louisiana that we proclaim is HUD money. Housing Authority New Orleans, who has $1.6 billion in RFPs. 2 of our members have 50% of that, and the other 2 RFP winners are committing to working with the local minority business community. DOT, we have a model case in Illinois. The Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce has put every contractor in central and downstate Illinois at full capacity through the IDOT program, to the point that the governor has given them 2 contracts worth over $1 million for technical assistance for minority contracting in the state of Illinois. The state of Ohio legislature has just appropriated $1.2 million to develop 2 more black chambers within the state of Ohio for economic development within that state. Everyone is giving up out there on the SBA for developing small and minority businesses. The point I hear about women business, they obviously have decided they're not going to do it. That's the deal, and I think that's the challenge to this committee. What are we going to do to make them do it? We've given up. Now, we are doing other creative things. We're working on a partnership with Alaska Native corporations. We're using their expertise for technical assistance and finding contracts with the Corps of Engineers. We've had some good examples. The only problem is the SBA is trying to stop us from doing this, which we have resisted and are turning that around. 8A program, you're supposed to have 45 days to have your application process. We've got people who are taking 6, 7, 8 months trying to get an 8A application processed. I've had one guy who waited 7 months, and he was told, a native of New Orleans was told, a survivor of Katrina was told that he is not economically disadvantaged. He lost all his business in the storm. He was born and raised in the inner city of New Orleans, and they're telling me he's not socially disadvantaged. I think it's absurd. At the same time, you've got 8A meals in the greater D.C. area where these white males are out recruiting some of our members, asking them to sign up for the 8A program through them. They can get them in 2 to 3 weeks guaranteed because they have connections with the SBA. Then when they get approved as an 8A business, they assign them a new address somewhere in D.C. to be a hub zone in addition to 8A. Then they have what is known as a handshake agreement, which says they're deviating from the application of the 8A program and assigning them project managers doing the bidding, doing the project work, and all they have to do is just sign paperwork and checks. This is fraud. And this is, and if I can see it, I'm the last person they want to know who knows about this. Seems like the SBA might want to pick up a phone, talk to us, and we can take them to the door. That's my time. I'll answer your question, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Alford. I'm sure we'll give